Problem on the original broadcast, but we are back with you at the King Power Stadium, and also we have the comment section working. I'm trying to do everything by myself. It's me, John Stuttard, and I'm with you now till gone 7:30 this evening. What a game it promises, what a day it promises to be at the King Power, where we'll be doing live commentary in just a second or two. But a marvellous occasion for this game, West Ham and Leicester. We are now. But let me just bring you up to news with Glenn Hoddle. He's been taken seriously ill, I'm afraid, and that is a real bad news there. Obviously, Ozzy Ordale is his former teammate. He's 61 years old today, incidentally, Glenn Hoddle. He was taken ill this morning, and it's a real sad sight to see. So, hopefully, everybody hopes that Glenn Hoddle pulls through. It would be really sad. He was appearing on television this morning and on his 61st birthday, but I'm afraid it's not great, I'm afraid. But Glenn Hoddle, hopefully he'll be okay. Anyway, full times that have just been and gone. I can tell you that Fulham have beaten Bournemouth by 3-0. That I can tell you. Goals from Callum Wilson, 2 goals from Callum Wilson. Brooks got the other one for Bournemouth. McDonald was sent off for Fulham. That is now confirmed. So more problems for Fulham. It's good news for Burnley as well, considering they actually play tomorrow. So that's an important victory there, as we know. So that was an important one. Other full times: Watford 3, Huddersfield 0, Liverpool 4, Cardiff 1. Southampton and Newcastle at the moment are still playing on, or were playing on. I think that's ended goalless as well. Brighton have beaten Wolves by 1-0, and there's full time in the Championship. Sheffield United, one of the leaders, have beaten Wigan by 4-2. Dunkley and a Billy Sharp hat-trick. Naismith and Garner with the replies for Wigan, but Sheffield United very comfortable winners there. Birmingham continuing their good run with a 3-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday. That's an important one. Accrington have got a fantastic draw, as I can see, against Portsmouth. The whistle has gone at St Mary's, and it's finished Southampton 0, Newcastle 0, in a game that I predicted there would be no goals in, and that's what we got. Well, that's what they got this afternoon down on the south coast, that is for sure. So it's all been very cagey there. As I say, 1-1. What a performance by Accrington Stanley. The whistle did go at the Amex, and Brighton, well, they certainly upset my coupon today, unfortunately, but there you go. So Accrington have drawn 1-1. What a performance from them. Hawkins had given Portsmouth the lead after 62 minutes, and Nkimyi equalising for Accrington Stanley, who are going beyond the call of duty this season in the division, and one of the lowest budgets of the Football League I can remember for quite some time. In League 2, Cambridge won thanks to an 80th minute goal by Ibere, and that beat Macclesfield by 1-0. We're coming up now towards classified football results time. Just to let you know that our match today, and I'll be bringing you full match commentary on it, is between Leicester and West Ham here at the King Power Stadium. Also, I've got to remind you tomorrow that we've got a game on between Burnley and Chelsea, and that's our big match this weekend, but that takes place tomorrow. The reason why I'm doing the commentary is because there's no Chris Whiteman. He's otherwise engaged, so I've taken I've covered for him tonight. Millwall have given themselves some breathing space, but poor old Ipswich sacked their manager in midweek, and now they're being absolutely beaten. It must be really hard. Paul Lambert, I don't know, he's got a big job on trying to keep Ipswich in the Championship there. West Brom have drawn 1-1. Well, it's just been one of those, hasn't it? You know, a lot of draws going on, but we are waiting to do the classifieds, and in fact most of the results are in. We will give you full updated tables, but let us live now. We are actually doing this live. We're going to give you the full classified results. Starting of course with the Premier League. Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Fulham 0, Bournemouth 3. Leicester against West Ham is our match at 5:30. Liverpool 4, Cardiff 1. Southampton 0, Newcastle United 0. And Watford 3, Huddersfield Town 0. Into Sky Bet Championship. Birmingham City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Bolton Wanderers 0, Hull City 1. Bristol City 0, Stoke City 1. Leeds United against Nottingham Forest, 5:30 kick-off. Middlesbrough 1, Derby County 1. Millwall 3, Ipswich 0. Norwich City 1, Brentford 0. Preston 1, Rotherham 1. Sheffield United 4, Wigan 2. Swansea 2, Reading 0. And West Brom 1, Blackburn 1. Sky Bet League 1. Accrington Stanley 1, Portsmouth 1. AFC Wimbledon 0, Luton 2. Barnsley 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Burton 1, Peterborough 2. Coventry 2, Doncaster Rovers 1. Fleetwood Town 3, Blackpool 2. Gillingham 4, Bradford 0. Oxford United 3, Shrewsbury 0. Rochdale 1, Charlton Athletic 0. Scunthorpe 1, Plymouth Argyle 4. Sunderland 3, Southend United 0. And Walsall 3, Wycombe Wanderers 2. League 2. Cambridge 1, Macclesfield 0. Carlisle 0, Yeovil 1. Cheltenham Town 0, Stevenage 2. Colchester United 1, Lincoln City 0. Crewe 2, Grimsby Town 0. Exeter 1, Forest Green Rovers 2. Mansfield Town 1, the MK Dons 1. Newport 1, Morecambe 1. Northampton 2, Oldham Athletic 1. Notts County 1, Swindon Town 2. Port Vale 1, Bury 0. And Tranmere Rovers 5, Crawley Town 1. Now the Vanarama National League. Barrow 0, Barnet 2. Boreham Wood 2, Bromley 1. Braintree Town 2, Dover 1. Chesterfield 1, Wrexham 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Harrogate Town 1. Halifax Town 0, Eastleigh 1. Gateshead 3, Aldershot 0. Hartlepool 2, Sutton United 3. Leyton Orient 4, Abington Waterlooville 0. Maidenhead 0, AFC Files 6. Maidstone United 1, Solihull Moors 3. And Salford City 1, Edsfleet United 1. Into Scotland with the Ladbrokes Premiership, 2 games. Kilmarnock 1, Hamilton Academicals 1. And St Johnstone 2, St Mirren 0. Into the Ladbrokes Championship, Alloa 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. Dunfermline 0, Dundee United 2. Partick Thistle 0, Ayr United 1. Queen of the South 2, Falkirk 0. And Ross County 5, Morton 0. League 1, Adrianians 0, Stenhousemuir 1. Brechin City 1, Montrose 3. Dumbarton 4, East Fife 0. Forfar 3, Rafe Rovers 2. And Stranraer 0, Arbroath 1. League 2, Albion Rovers 0, Queen's Park 3. Berwick Rangers 0, Cowdenbeath 3. Clyde 1, Peterhead 3. Elgin City 0, Annan Athletic 1. And Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 1. JD Welsh Premier League, 2 games from that. Bala Town 0, Barry Town 1. And Newtown 1, the New Saints 1. And the Danske Bank Premiership finally, Ballymena Town 3, Crusaders 0. Coleraine 1, Questonville 2. Dungannon Swiss 1, Linfield 2. Glenavon against Louis City is a late result, score currently 0-0. Glentoran 4, Arts 0. And finally Warren Point 0, Institute 1. So the Premier League table looks like this. Liverpool top by 3 points from Manchester City, who play on Monday. Chelsea play tomorrow at Burnley, they're third. Arsenal complete the top 4. Watford are still up there. Bournemouth on 20 points as well in the top 6. Brighton, the big winners at the wrong end of the table, up to now 11th place. Leicester could still overtake them if they beat West Ham in the late game. Burnley are 13th, play tomorrow. The wrong end of the table, we've got Fulham, Newcastle and Huddersfield. Sheffield United top of the Championship, Middlesbrough is second place. Then it's Norwich, Leeds, West Brom and Derby County in a clutch of clubs. Now Birmingham are coming to it very slowly away in 8th place. And then maybe a team to watch out for there. Not looking good for Ipswich Town. 5 points from safety now, rock bottom. And then come Hull and Reading, who complete the bottom three. And then above them, Millwall, Rotherham, Preston, Bolton, Millwall and Aston Villa. Portsmouth top in the Sky Bet League 1. Sunderland, Barnsley, Luton Town and Accrington Stanley. Can you believe this? Accrington Stanley in the top 6 of the League 1. It's an amazing story that John Coleman's got down there at the Crown Ground this season. Blackpool and Fleetwood in the top 12 as well. At the wrong end of the table, it's looking bleak for Brentford City. 4 points on safety. Same for AFC Wimbledon, a point better off. And Plymouth and Oxford completing the bottom 4. Lincoln lost today, but are still topped by 2 points from the NK Dons. Then come Exeter in the 3rd promotion spot. Newport, Colchester, Forest Green and Tranmere Rovers all occupy the playoffs. At the wrong end of the table, Macclesfield are very much in danger of being cut adrift. Just 7 points and plenty of safety. Notts County lost, so they're in trouble. At the wrong end, at the top end of the Vanarama, Leyton Orient and point clear of Salford City, who drew today. Wrexham, Solihull Moors, Harrogate, Fylde and Gateshead get the other playoff spots. At the wrong end of the table, it's looking very bleak again for Dover Athletic. Braintree are still not out the woods yet. Aberdeen, Waterlooville and Dagenham and Redbridge in Bother and Maidstone as well. In the Premiership, 5 points Hearts. They didn't play today. They play in the Scottish League Cup semi-final against, I think it's Rangers at Celtic tomorrow. Kilmarnock still plugging away in 2nd place. Hamilton Academicals are in big trouble as well. But that is really, I mean, it's been a staggered programme in the Scottish Premiership, that is for sure. So that's the story of the afternoon. So we're going to take a 5-minute break and then rejoin for full match commentary of Leicester versus we'll get all the interviews and reaction to come from the 3 o'clock kickoffs later on in the show, but we're going to take a 10-minute break or 5-minute break, and then after that we build up to the big game. We build up towards Leicester City against West Ham at 5:30. Be sure to stay tuned and join me then for that if you can. Welcome back to our live coverage of Leicester versus West Ham in the Premier League. Any news that we've, as you may have heard earlier, there's been some really worrying news about former England manager, England, Tottenham and Chelsea manager Glenn Hoddle, who's been taken to hospital very seriously. Earlier appeared as a television pundit this morning and then was taken ill. He's 61 years old. It was his birthday today. And at the moment, everyone's wishing him well, and I extend that to everybody here at the JB Clark Well YouTube channel. That will wish him all the best as well. If you want to pay your respects to Glenn Hoddle and wish him well, you can do in the comment section. We are open for business tonight. Let me know about your reaction to the 3 o'clock kickoffs and what you think one might happen in this one here at the King Power. I'll bring you the team lineups just in a moment or two, but first of all, let's go through what's been happening in the Premier League up and down the country while we're waiting to start the game here. First of all, I'll just give you the two teams just very quickly. Leicester line up: Schmeichel in goal, Marty, Soyuncu, Maguire and Chilwell, and Didi, Ibarra, Gazelle, Maddison, Albrighton and Iheanacho up front. Substitutes: Evans, Gray, Vardy, Ward the goalkeeper, Pereira, Okazaki and Mendy. For West Ham, their 11 is as follows: Fabianski in goal, Zabaleta, Banuena, Diop, Masasanko, Declan Rice, Diagana, Mark Noble the captain, Robert Snodgrass, Anderson and Javier Hernandez. On the bench for West Ham: Aaron Criswell, Adrian the goalkeeper, Ogbonna, Fredericks, Antonio, Powell and Coventry. The referee today, Michael Oliver from Northumberland. I will give you another check on the two teams before kick-off, but let's just quickly remind you what happened today. 100 goals that Glenn Murray has scored now for Brighton, as his 48th minute strike was enough to sink Wolverhampton Wanderers this afternoon by 1-0. Now Brighton now move up to 11th with that result, level on points in fact with Manchester United. Glenn Murray proving the difference there today against Wolves. Fulham's woes continue, where Bournemouth are just absolutely cruising at the moment. Kevin McDonald was sent off for Fulham in fact after 73 minutes, but it was Callum Wilson after a 14th minute penalty that gave the Cherries the lead. Then David Brooks made it 2-0 after 72 minutes, and then Callum Wilson really making it so emphatic for the 11 men of Bournemouth, who were just on evidence too good for the 10 men of Fulham. As I said, had Kevin McDonald sent off. So Bournemouth now 1 point behind Spurs in the table in 6th place. No problems for Liverpool. They beat a probable plucky Cardiff side by 4-1. They were only 1-0 up, amazingly, at the halfway mark, but a goal from Mo Salah after 10 minutes put them in front, and then they did cut loose in the second half. Sadio Mane made it 2-0, but then Patterson pulled one back for Cardiff after 77, but then 2 late goals, one from Shaqiri and a second from Mane, confirming a comfortable, in the end, 4-1 victory against Cardiff City. And they, well, they are absolutely superb. Now they've won 8 out of 10 games this season, and that's good going. And it's going to take some stopping for Jurgen Klopp, that is for sure. With probably them up against Man City later on in the season, maybe to decide possibly the destiny of the title. Who knows? Man City coincidentally play Spurs on Monday. That's why Liverpool are 3 points clear and with a game more played. Southampton 0, Newcastle 0. Not much to write home about there at St Mary's. A predictable 0-0 draw when you look at the teams on current form. And Watford, and back to their old selves now, up to 7th place. With Spa, I knew they were going to be far too much. I did the preview on Facebook about them, and I backed them to win quite comfortably, and they didn't let me down today. Pereira got them off to a good start after 10 minutes. Deulofeu after 19 got the second one, and Isaac Success made it 3-0, and they're now 7th in the table. Let's check out one or two of the scores in the Championship. We've got a couple of minutes, so we'll just check out what's been happening. The big winners today, I have to tell you, Middlesbrough 1, Derby 1. That was the lunchtime kick-off. It looked as if Derby were going to go top of the table, but Middlesbrough scored an own goal. In fact, 2 own goals were scored. A George Friend own goal put Derby in front after 19 minutes, and 6 minutes from time, Bogle put through his own net to give Middlesbrough a share of the spoils. The big winners, I have to say, big winners indeed. Birmingham City, they had to come from behind to beat Sheffield Wednesday today. Stephen Fletcher, the former Burnley player, put them in Wednesday in front after 19 minutes. And then back came Birmingham. They've got a great resolve at the moment under Gary Monk. They've got a good run going here, and maybe the crowds may well start coming back to St Andrews after all. Mahoney put Birmingham level after 43 minutes. Jukovic, then former ex-Claret, scored the second one after 80 minutes, 10 minutes from the end, and 4 minutes later Adams made it 3-1, and it's put Birmingham just on the fringes of the playoffs, and they're going very, very well. I think they've got the best manager they've had probably since the days of Chris Hughton, and they're going really well, Birmingham City, at the moment. Bolton 0, Hull City 1. A big result this for Hull, away from home. Releases a little bit of pressure on their manager Nigel Atkins. Fraser Campbell's goal after just 7 minutes, the difference in that one. And a big result for Gary Rowett at Bristol City today for Stoke. Darren Fletcher scoring the winning goal after 33 minutes. At Millwall today, Millwall just too good for a very lacklustre Ipswich side. 2 goals for Lee Gregory today, 26 and 51 minutes respectively, giving the Lions a 2-0 lead at that point. Leonard making it 3 with 20 minutes from the end, and Millwall winning very comfortably there by 3-0 against a very, very lacklustre and very, very low and confident Ipswich side. And my goodness, Paul Lambert's got a big job ahead of him at Portman Road. Speaking of Paul Lambert, his former side Norwich won today against Brentford, 1-0. Buendia after 34 minutes, enough to sink Brentford, who have, since they've lost the manager Dean Smith to Aston Villa, are now starting to plummet down the table. They were in the top 6 a few weeks ago. Now they're in 16th place and tumbling down quite a lot now at the moment. But Norwich now right up amongst it now, and potentially could end up in the playoffs if things were to go their way. Preston 1, Rotherham 1 was a full-time score. Barzukin had put Preston ahead after 40 minutes, and then Smith equalising for Rotherham after 55. So a good result there, definitely for Rotherham than it is for Preston. But the leaders at the moment, Sheffield United, and they're going great guns under Chris Wilder. Dunkley put Sheffield United ahead for an own goal after 23 minutes, and then Naismith equalised after 39 for Wigan. But then Billy Sharp, it was his stage out there on in, goals on 45, 53 and 63 minutes. Put Sheffield United 4-1 up. Garner replied after 69 for Wigan, but it was far too late. Sheffield United winning that crucial game 4-2, and Swansea beating Reading by 2-0 on at the Liberty Stadium. 2 goals from McBurney, 1 from the penalty spot after 38 minutes and 84 minutes, and West Brom and you know who drew 1-1. We don't need to talk about that. So that's really it, really, as far as the Championship is concerned. And well, it's going to be some special. It's been a special day, certainly in terms of the Championship. And now we're waiting for the entrance of the 2 teams here, Leicester against West Ham, and we're going to be there for the kick-off. We're there waiting to start, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with team lineups, with a review of the team lineups, and we'll be back just in time for kick-off. Stay tuned for us then. Well, we are live at the King Power. The teams are out onto the field. I'll run through the two lineups very quickly. West Ham to kick off. And away we go then. So West Ham in the current were attacking the goal to our left-hand side, and away we go then. So Leicester lining up as follows: Schmeichel in goal, Amati, Sarakuru, Chilwell, and Ndidi, and Bora, Gazelle, Brighton in a nutshell. That's their 11. So they're going to play a 4-2-3-1 formation, Leicester City, with Kasper Schmeichel, as I say, in goal, as West Ham try to attack down near side there. Chilwell, Maguire, Soikolunu, and Amati, and Ndidi and Mbora, the two holding midfielders, and then it's three attacking midfielders with Brighton, Gazelle, and Madison, within a natural preferred to Jamie Vardy up front. Jamie Vardy presently amongst the substitutes. West Ham line up as bowlers with Fabianski in goal. A back four of Masanko, Diop, Balawena, and Zabaleta, Snodgrass, Rice, and Diang, and Anderson and Hernandez completing the lineup. So off we go. We played a minute, no happenings yet, as number 18 Amati gets the ball in there towards Madison knocking it back towards number 25 Ndidi. Good start this from Leicester as they try to hit West Ham straight away down the far side, and the ball is out of play. And of course you can comment on anything that's happening. If there's any ground who's ongoing huddle, we'll try and find out for you as soon as we can get it for you. Going huddle in hospital, and the goal is he's been given, no, it's offside against Iheanacho as he planted the ball into the back of the net, but the flag was up for an offside. That would have been a rip-roaring start for Leicester as the ball was knocked in now. Yeah, just offside though, Iheanacho, as he went forward and he knocked the ball past Fabianski. No trouble at all, but the flag, as I said, came up and the goal did not stand, and it's back with the goalkeeper again, and two Leicester players were converging on him, and Fabianski's kick wasn't the best. Just to remind you, referee is Michael Over of Northumberland, as the ball comes into the penalty area and taken very cleanly there by Fabianski in all green today. One ball down to serve, a chance for Amati to clear up, and he does so. King Power, when it's at its most raucous best, is always brilliant, and it's John Stuttard in the commentary box in place of Chris Whiteman today. Chris is away this week, so he will be back in the next couple of weeks, next week or so, to reconvene. He's usually the regular 5:30 commentator, but because he's unavailable, I'm standing in for him, and I've got to do the presenting and the commentating today, which is going to be quite a challenge for me, but we'll get there in the end. And as I say, we were going to bring you a FA Cup game, but Russ had to pull out again. He was asked to do a radio show, and we couldn't stand in his way. And he's got to follow Leeds United, his team, at 5:30, and I'm sure we'll get some score updates from him at some point. As Chilwell tries to make headway over on the far side. This is the Iheanacho offside thing. Yeah, he was offside, and I think one or two of the cynical Leicester fans have to accept that. And the ball deflects by the far side, and it is the first corner of the contest to Leicester City off Pablo Zabaleta, the former Manchester City man, now coached by his former Manchester City manager, of course, Manuel Pellegrini. Claude Puel, of course, the manager of Leicester City. Going up to nearly 4 minutes gone. We're nearly hitting the 4 minute mark, and it's Leicester with the corner, and they all go in there from the corner on the far side, and the ball nodded forward, and somehow West Ham's cleared it away. It will be another corner. Madison with another wicked delivery into the penalty area from the left hand side, and there was a bit of a scramble in there, and it almost turned out to be an opening goal there for Leicester City in the blue shirts, all blue strip. West Ham in claret with a bit of light blue on the sleeves, white shorts, white socks, as the ball comes in again towards the 6 yard area. The goalkeeper didn't have it under control. No foul on the goalkeeper, only hooked away, and Brighton tries the shot from 25 yards just to the right with his right foot, and it just drifts wide of the far left hand post of Fabianski and behind for a goal kick. 0-0 draw will do for me. Well, in this game, I hope not. We like to pride ourselves on the match. So 0-0 is the score at the moment as the ball goes wide of the target. 0-0 is the score. 1 goal and 1 assist in only 8 league games this season for Marco Brighton. This is not normally consistent. He's very consistent. As I say, 8 games he's started. We've gone past 5 minutes at the KP and 0-0, and we've got a foul there, a free kick to West Ham just on halfway. And we've had to cut off, I'm afraid, because the television feed is now had to go to Donald Trump, I'm afraid, which is not quite good, because there's been in America there's been a bit of a shooting going on, so we're still waiting to get back. We've lost pictures of the first half, but hopefully we won't miss any of the action at the moment. So Leicester 0, West Ham 0 is the score. Unfortunately, the streamers absolutely they've ended up cutting to Donald Trump for some reason, but we'll try and get back there. There has been a shooting, I believe, in Pittsburgh in America as well. Just to remind you, before they cut back to the match, before we cut back to the game, Glenn Hoddle's in hospital. He got taken ill this morning, and I'm afraid, well, this is this is not what we wanted. But obviously, football takes precedence to what's been going on here. It's really sad to see this. We should be commentating on a match, but unfortunately, we've had to cut away from the first half of our match that we're supposed to be covering here, and our feed has gone back to Donald Trump, and I can't commentate on the match at the moment, but we will hopefully get some. I'm having to play news reporter here because we've had 8 dead in a Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, and the suspect is in custody. I'm not here to. I wasn't coming on to do I came on to do a football commentary, and I've ended up now, through no fault of my own, having to do a news story at the moment. But I'm sure you'll hear about it on your news bulletins later. But that's the news from America. Hopefully now we can get back to the football as soon as possible. It is rather, I mean football's less of importance, but we're here to cover football, not to cover news reports, and it is very, very annoying when it happens. So we'll try, and what we'll do is get the moving pictures back again and actually try and do the match at the moment. But I'm afraid it's been, we are back live now. We're 9 minutes into the game. I knew this would happen. We'd have absolute problems, but we are back live now with the match, and hopefully, well, thankfully we haven't missed a goal yet this season, so that's one good thing. And Iheanacho was onside there as the ball was played through, but out came Fabianski, and West Ham, for the moment anyway, survive. 0-0 is the scoreline here in the Premier League game. We are back live now, and it's number 21 in Bora. Turns nicely, finds Gazelle, and he goes down. Gazelle. But just to remind you, I've just been getting reports from the BBC website, that news website, that there's been a mass murder in Pittsburgh. 8 people have been dead after a shooting, and the suspect is now in jail. Just to remind you of the news from Pittsburgh, and of course Glenn Hoddle is seriously ill in hospital after collapsing at a television studio this morning as he was down to do some punditry this afternoon for BT Sports. So 2 majors of massive news stories to bring you at the moment, and it's all over Facebook, I believe, the Pittsburgh shootings and all that stuff, and I'm sure you'll hear it all on your BBC News bulletins later on. But we're back live with the football here on the JB Clark YouTube channel, and our main match, Leicester against West Ham, is 10 minutes old and it's 0-0. We'll try and keep you up to date with all the news from America with the Pittsburgh shootings, as the ball goes perilously back for a defender, and the goalkeeper having to stretch to tip it over the crossbar there. Fabianski really was, it was number 4 here, Balabrena, who got his head to that under no great pressure, and he looped it almost over the goalkeeper. It's a corner taken short, and the cross comes in towards the penalty area from number 10, Maddison, who's been a revelation, as West Ham now try to come out and trying to play some football. It's going to be, I think, backs to the wall job this for West Ham. The problem with West Ham is you don't know what sort of team they're going to put out. Are they going to put out a team that could beat Manchester United in their own backyard, or a team that could lose 2-0 in their own backyard to Bournemouth? It's the old conundrum, if you like, as Diop comes forward for Leicester, and there is a foul, I think. Yes, Mr. Oliver, the referee, giving that one on Robert Snodgrass, and a free kick to Leicester, to West Ham United, now looking to get forward with Noble, and the ball now on the far side. Can West Ham defy logic here? Zabaleta in behind, cross comes in from the right hand side, ball breaks inside the area for Snodgrass, turns, it's blocked, comes out to Anderson, who chips it forward, and Anders is waiting inside the penalty area. Anderson takes possession of the ball, Anderson shoots, and he shoots with his right foot, and it was right along the ground, and Kasper Schmeichel, the standing Leicester City captain, had to take that fantastically well there and got both hands to it. It was a fantastic take and save at the same time. Tattoo Terrier says, hello JB, well, great win for Millwall today, 3-0 against Ipswich, eases their relegation fears. Here's Anderson again for West Ham, and a chance now for Noble, who shoots, and it's charged down. West Ham just having a good 2 or 3 minutes here at the moment. Maguire to get it away for Leicester. In fact, there's a foul there and a free kick to Leicester City. It was on Old Brighton, but I think Old Brighton got the block in actually, and there must have been an infringement here. But this was the almost the own goal at the other end there. And if you're wondering where Chris Whiteman is tonight, he's elsewhere tonight, so I'm standing in for him. JB John Stuttard covering this game, and tomorrow it's Burnley against Chelsea. Please excuse my French. Baked beans and fish fingers for tea. You haven't sworn yet, Tattoo Terrier, so why excuse the French? Oh, it's good to be back bantering with you guys again after a couple of weeks away, but it's marvellous. And don't forget, in the second half, JB's man of the match, and don't forget hashtag JB Live. And again, I'll be the commentator for the game. So just to remind you what's been happening elsewhere, Brighton won Wolves 0. That was a goal from Glenn Murray that won that day. Won the day. 2 goals for Callum Wilson and 1 for David Brooks. Gave Bournemouth a 3-0 win at Fulham. Southampton and Newcastle drew 0-0. Watford 3, Huddersfield 0. That was a very, very good result. And Liverpool battling to win 4-1 against Cardiff. No 12:30 again this afternoon in the Premier League. There was 3 tomorrow. Burnley, of course, the one we'll be covering is Burnley Chelsea from Turf Moor, and I'll be the man in the box. I'll be the man in the commentary box for that one as well. At the same time, Crystal Palace take on Arsenal, and then Manchester United against Everton, and on Monday night it's Tottenham against Man City from Wembley. As Leicester come forward here at the King Power. 0-0 is the score. Little chip by Ndidi towards the far side, but it's cut out by the Hammers, who have held on in the first 15 minutes or so. 14 and a half minutes gone. I can understand why he said what he said there, Tattoo Terry. He's a Millwall fan, and Millwall and West Ham are very big rivals across the River Thames, for sure. And that's the situation at the moment. But I can tell you that there's been no scoring in this game. Gillingham 4, Bradford 0. Gillingham starting to get their act together, as Panini said, 4-0 against Bradford. don't know why you guys don't listen to the full classifiers at the start. I can tell you, I could bring you all this news. Save you bothering with it. 15 minutes gone, 0-0 between Leicester City and West Ham here on the JB Clark YouTube channel. And here come West Ham trying to find a way through. That's a foul on Dagana, I think he's called, although he wears Diang on the shirt. I just got back from the match. Oh, it's nice to have the banter aside. Anyway, back with the game, and it's Rice now for West Ham. Infield to Snodgrass. Snodgrass just to the right of the D, 25 from goal. Now a chance for Sanko, and now Snodgrass still on the right hand side, and again, good play again. Now Masanku takes possession, this time on halfway. The ball forward once more. Remember, tomorrow 1:20 we'll have live uninterrupted commentary of Burnley against Chelsea from Turf Moor, and I'll be the man in the box. JB does Burnley. Does Burnley still have wooden seats? Never been there. They do to a certain extent in the Bob Lord and cricket field stands, but mainly a lot of the fans in the cricket field stands still stand up, home and away supporters, because I've been in there at the start of the season for the Aberdeen home match in Europe. They have painted them to make it look as if it's funny how it comes about. They've painted them claret and blue to make them look like the plastic seats, but I can assure you they are wooden seats. Having sat in those two stands this calendar year, and to be honest with you, they are not as comfortable as the other two stands, the Jimmy McElroy stand or the Longside stand. They're not great, I'm afraid. I just wish they would upgrade them. When you go into those two holder stands, it's like going back in time sometimes. But maybe that's. I mean, it's very rare you get the old style grounds now in the Premier League these days, with the brash new vibrant arenas like this one we're at now, the King Power Stadium. Here's a Bonner now for West Ham, and yes, tradition is class. And I bet you missed the old den, don't you, back on the old Coldblow Lane, the old stadium many moons ago, and that was a proper football ground, I can tell you. Well, I've never visited there, but I've seen it on TV, and it was a proper football ground. But the new den looks absolutely one of the best. The new den's actually been up for about 20 odd years now, but it still looks very contemporary and very classy as well. It's not called the David Fishwick stand anymore, it's now the Ledbrook stand. Yet it is tight wooden seats. It is very tight, and you stand up a lot though, with the home fans in the stand. Anyway, back to the match, and it's West Ham on the ball with Noble, and it's back to Anderson again. Flip Anderson. Now then, chance here for a crossing from the left hand side. Nobody in claret waiting inside the penalty area, but West Ham amazingly still keep possession with Diang. And now back to Rice. Now Diang again, just to the right this time, but it's given away here. Chance here for Chilwell to take possession. Now Harry Maguire has it, the England hero in the summer that's just gone. And yes, nice to see Sean Dyche. Yeah, he was under Brian Clough in his early playing days at Nottingham Forest. Never made an appearance incidentally for Forest, but he came through the academy alongside the likes of Ian Lone, who's now his assistant at Burnley, and those two, I'm sure, tonight will be plotting a real hopefully Chelsea's downfall. Any news on Glenn Hoddle? I'd like to get your views on Glenn Hoddle, guys. The former England manager was taken ill, still 0-0 in this game as Rice takes the possession. Glenn Hoddle, of course, was taken to hospital today, and he was he'd been working for television, and he's been taken to hospital, and our best wishes are with Glenn and his family. As the ball comes in towards the penalty area from the left hand side by Snodgrass, it's headed away but not very far. Zabaleta takes possession, and now a chance for Chilwell to get it away for the Foxes, league champions less than 2 years ago. 2016 was their time. They absolutely ripped the Premier League to shreds and made the money element look absolutely ridiculous, really. They didn't spend much money. Rhea Morris cost less than 500 grand as Snodgrass goes in for West Ham, shoots with his right foot and he drags the shot wide of the left hand post and behind for a goal kick to Leicester City. Just a warning shot there from West Ham that have not come up here to make the numbers. And Tattoo Terrier, believe me or believe me not, true story, I have a Cloughie portrait tattoo. Well, Cloughie was admired everywhere in the football world. What he did at Derby County and Nottingham Forest will never be ever achieved ever again in our lifetimes, unless the gravy train of the Premier League comes out and we have all financial. I mean, not in this day and age will it happen again. I mean, Leicester, you could argue, but they did spend a few quid and they had a brilliant coach in Ranieri, but he's no Brian Clough. Clough, he knew what to do. He knew how to get the best out of inferior players, and he did it tremendously well. Him and Peter Taylor. Peter Taylor would find the most acute players from all sorts. I think he got Gary Birtles from non-league for a mere £2,000, and he went on to score on his debut in the European Cup against Liverpool in the late 70s. So there you go. That's there's a little fact for you. But anyway, back to the present day, and we've had 21 minutes of the first half here in the Premier League between Leicester City and West Ham United. It's 0-0. Earlier today we had wins for Bournemouth, a win for Watford, 3-0 today. They beat Huddersfield. Brighton won 1-0. Newcastle and Southampton drew 0-0 at St Mary's. Amongst the results, and Liverpool winning quite comfortably 4-1 rather against Cardiff, just doing the Welsh side a little disservice there by saying nil there accidentally. As we hit now the 22nd minute mark, the two assistants, Mr Bennett and Mr McDonough, something you don't see every day. They call them assistants. I still say them as linesmen, to be quite honest with you. But we've had 22 minutes of the first half, and here's Anderson now on the left hand side for West Ham, and he runs at the defender. Still Anderson now towards the penalty area, tried to take on one player too many, and Imboa was there he's now taking over the former role of N'Golo Kante, and here's a chance now for West Ham to come charging forward, and they have Masanku here infield to Noble out to the far side. They are playing with some real cohesion. Zabaleta now, and that's a good intelligent ball towards Snodgrass. Ogbonna makes a good run on this near side, or rather, sorry, not Ogbonna, Masanku. Ogbonna's amongst the substitutes. He used to wear number 26, Ogbonna, and that's what confused me a little bit there. I haven't covered West Ham for quite some time, so it's first time I think we've covered them this season on the YouTube channel. I'm sure we'll come across them during the season when they play Burnley. Of course, that game at the London Stadium is not far off now. As a chance inside the area for Hernandez, just lost his footing. It might break for Anderson. Complete utter chaos in that Leicester City penalty area. Snodgrass pulls the cross wide and behind for a goal kick. West Ham will claim in a corner, but the referee disagreed with them, and a goal kick it is to the Foxes of Leicester City. They just got themselves in a bit of a tangle there, Leicester in defence, and it came to Snodgrass here, right-footed cross, and I'm sure he wanted the little P on the end of that one, Snodgrass, but he wasn't inside the 6-yard area. The little P I'm referring to, the nickname of Javier Hernandez, Chicharito, former Manchester United player, of course. He was known to get some very special goals in Ferguson's time there, some late goals. He took on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer role for some considerable time during the Old Trafford career, but he became a cold hero under Ferguson at Old Trafford. Javier Hernandez, they call him the little P, and here was Maddison on the chase, but it's been a quiet spell for Leicester. West Ham has certainly had quite a number of possession in the last X amount percent of possession, and they've tried to do well, and they've forced a couple of opportunities and a couple of openings, which is quite extraordinary as Ghana runs out of pitch. And the two youngsters there, number 50 Powell and number 54 Coventry, are amongst the substitutes today, and it must be a great experience for those two in the first team, sampling a first team action as well. Also amongst the substitutes for West Ham, we've got Creswell, Adrian the keeper, Ogbonna, Henriks and Antonio. He was touted as a future England international, but he's not made the grade, or has not done as well as he liked. There's been injury problems as well that's blighted his progress. Just to remind you of the Leicester bench: Johnny Evans, Damari Gray, Jamie Vardy, Ward the goalkeeper, Pereira, Jinji Okazaki the striker, and Mendy number 24. And of course referee Michael Oliver. 25 minutes gone, or 25 and a half minutes gone. It's Leicester 0, West Ham 0 in the late game in the Premier League from the King Power Stadium. 3 games tomorrow. Just to remind you that Burnley and Chelsea will face off at 1:30 and will be live 10 minutes before the kick-off from Turf 4 on the JB Clark YouTube channel to cover that one for you. Also at the same time, there'll be Palace, who are searching and scratching to try and get some sort of momentum going. Haven't won at Sellers Park this season, which is a very rare occurrence. They play Arsenal, who are now 11 wins on the bounce, and I've backed them to make it 12 wins out of a possible 12 in all competitions, and I think they'll do so tomorrow. And of course we'll be seeing, obviously they'll also be at 4 o'clock, Manchester United home match at Old Trafford against Everton. Manchester United very poor in midweek against Juventus, and again the questions have come back on Jose Mourinho's end of the table, and you've got to really question his commitment at the moment. 10th in the league at the moment, but Everton starting to come into a bit of form. They beat Crystal Palace at Goodison last Sunday and won well 2-0, although the goals came rather late in the day. In an actual, meanwhile, in this game has come off, and remember there's the big one on Monday night, and that's between Tottenham and Manchester City. Billy Sharp is on fire, he is, and Sheffield United, a big mention for them there. They are ripping teams to shreds, and I would love Sheffield United to go back up there this season. He's done absolutely superb so far, and it would be great to see them back in the division. Chris Wilder has really got them playing, but I have to say, good mention for Birmingham City, 3-1 winners, and they're now well in the playoff contention, but there's a long way to go in the season, and as we all know, the Championship is a sprint and not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and the same would apply for the Premier League. I know Everton to do United. I backed him to win actually on my TalkSport predictor predictions. I've gone for 2-1. That is for sure. Anyway, back to the game here. We're just straying away from this game, but we are. It's just got a little bit scrappy in the last 5 minutes or so. That's why I'm responding to the comments. But we're now back in the game now, and it's Masanku now for West Ham. Goes towards halfway, but then plays the ball back rather curiously to Balbuena. And now Noble has it on halfway. Balbuena takes possession. Balbuena towards halfway. In towards Dagana. And now the ball played towards Hernandez. Little flick on by Snodgrass. Finds Philip Anderson on the left hand side. West Ham having a good spell. Here's a chance now for the cross in from the left hand side, and well, he needed a taller player inside the penalty area than Xavi Hernandez. He's not the tallest of men, and the cross was just far too high for the former Manchester United man. As Balbuena comes forward for West Ham, and that looked a foul there on number 45, Diagana, and a free kick. Rooney, yeah, he's ripping it up in the MLS now, isn't he? In the American League. Chilwell, the guilty party, incidentally, for the foul on Diagana. And a good position for West Ham. Snodgrass territory, maybe a little bit too further out for Snodgrass, or maybe not. It's a good 25 yards to the right of centre, to the right of the D. Snodgrass territory. Maybe Philip Anderson may have a crack. It's them two over it. We know what Snodgrass can do from set plays. as Burnley found out to their cost a couple of years ago when they played Hull. In fact, it's going to be floated in by Anderson in towards the area. I thought they might have had a shot. Header comes in off the post, and it might fall for West Ham, and they've scored. It's Balbuena. He had the first header that rebounded off the post, and then Balbuena came in again, and from no more than a yard, smacks the ball into the empty net. And Leicester City have been caught out defensively, and it was a clever free kick, really, from Snodgrass and Anderson. They absolutely worked it. It must have been something done on the training ground there. The ball whipped in from the right, the free kick, and Anderson plays it in. Leicester just go to sleep here, headed forward by Declan Rice. And there's the header, and, well, he had 2 bites at the cherry. Very lucky to get the second one. Schmeichel didn't know, had it, lost it, as the ball came back off the post. And that's his first goal of the season, Balbuena. Well, he has 2 goals at it, but he got it at the second attempt. And it's West Ham, against all the odds here at the King Power, lead Leicester City. And you've got to say, on balance of play, you have to say West Ham have deserved it. But there's still a long way to go. And it's not good news for Burnley, because it will move us down another place. 31 minutes gone. It's 1-0. At least we're not going to have a goalless draw in the game. But Claude Puel, after that early 20 plus 15 minutes when they ripped up, when they were ripping West Ham to shreds and should have really gone in front, they've sat back, and in the end they've only themselves to blame, I'm afraid. Leicester City, they haven't in the last 10-15 minutes got Maddison into the game enough. I think Iheanacho doesn't look at all good up front. I think they need Vardy on in the second half. I think to put Vardy on the bench was probably a mistake now. I don't need the draw. Now, and it's Leeds 0, Nottingham Forest 1. So Russ will not be happy about that, as the corner or the cross comes in. The little deflection, but it favours the goalkeeper. Russ, I'm sure, will be keeping his beady eye on that one. And I'm assured he'll be down at Ellen Road trying to cheer the boys on. Leeds, who had a good start to the season, but it's tailed off for them a little bit. But Forest in the lead in the game at Ellen Road. As the shot comes in from 20 yards, and it was it was Maddison, I think, who turned. This is the goal again. Poor Leicester City defending. What on earth was Harry Maguire and Chilwell doing? Balbuena had the freedom of the 6-yard box of Leicester, and he could have actually gone on a brisk morning walk and stroked that in. That's how simple and easy it was when the ball rebounded. His initial header rebounded off the post, and the Hammers are in absolute dreamland. Harry Maguire is furious. I think they were trying to claim offside there, Leicester, but I don't think it was offside. But it's West Ham 1, Leicester City 0. Problems afoot for Leicester, and it's not helping Burnley's cause, this, from a selfish point of view. But at the moment, West Ham, when you look at it objectively, have played the better football in the last 15 minutes, and you could argue deserve to be in front. But there you go. 33 minutes gone in the first half. Leicester City 0, West Ham United 1, and Marty tries to get Leicester going. Iheanacho now finds number 31 here. Gazelle in field towards Maddison. They need him on the ball a lot more, I believe. Ndidi now towards the far side, and a good rustling run there by Harry Maguire, the centre back. Now he's out of position, but here's Ndidi now picking up the loose ball for Leicester. 34 minutes gone, and the ball has been lost again by Leicester in that final third, and now it's Anderson again, who's had a good first half for me for Leicester City so far. And the ball out of play on the far side. It will be a Leicester ball. Gazelle winning that throw-in. Going to be left for Daniel and Marty to take. Leicester 0, West Ham 1 at the King Power Stadium. The Saturday game live from the King Power Stadium. John Stottard on commentaries in place of Chris Whiteman, who's away this weekend. As Anderson takes the ball now, excuse me, for West Ham. It's been a frantic last 10 minutes. I'm now breathing down the wrong hole. Other news today, football-wise, Glenn Hoddle has been taken seriously ill and was taken to hospital after appearing on a television on BT Sport this morning as a television pundit. And our best wishes, and I'm sure you guys will back me up on this one. We'll wish Glenn Hoddle, the former England manager and former Spurs player, a very, very speedy recovery. And of course he was a former Chelsea manager as well, Southampton amongst his clubs. Swindon Town, of course, he got famously up in 1992-93 in that never to be forgotten playoff final, coincidentally against Leicester City when they were 3 up, I think, at one stage in the second half. Leicester came back to 3-3, and I think they needed an 85th minute penalty by Paul Bowden to win that day at Wembley. One of the best playoff finals I think I've ever seen in all my years watching football. A real cracking playoff final, and Glenn Hoddle actually scored the opening goal in that match. And there's a little stat for you. But in the present, it's Leicester City, the champions of the Premier League just 2 years ago, struggling here at home against West Ham as we go into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Leicester 0, West Ham 1 in the Premier League. Tomorrow we've got live commentary of Burnley versus Chelsea. Chelsea in Europa League action this week, hence why the game was pulled back to Sunday. Otherwise we would have covered it today. Also tomorrow at the same time we've got in the Premier League there is also Arsenal away at Crystal Palace, and then Manchester United against Everton at Old Trafford, and of course the big one on Monday night as well. As in a nutshell, takes the ball, looked like his chest. West Ham claimed handball, referee agrees with West Ham, and a free kick goes West Ham's way. Oh, chest onto arm. I'm not sure, that's a bit unfortunate there in a nutshell there. He did use his chest initially, then it just unfortunately just ricocheted rather unkindly onto his arm. The ball back with Fabianski, who's not had much to do. The man they got from Swansea City during the summer hasn't had a shot to save in this last sort of 20 minutes or so of the first half. Bit of a worry in that aspect. But we've got Leicester on the ball now. Can they get themselves the equaliser? The ball is with Daniel Amartey on the left hand side. Amartey in field. And now the ball back to Ndidi. West Ham blanket defending, and defending well from the front. And Declan Rice, who's been causing a little bit of controversy with this, who he wants to play for internationally. Says he wants to play for England now, having played 3 times. Oh, red card! Red card been given! And I think West Ham are down to 10 minutes. The captain, Mark Noble, I think he's been sent off. Michael Oliver had no hesitations in getting out the red card. It was a bit of a tasty challenge on the centre circle, and the West Ham fans are aghast with horror. And West Ham now have to play the remainder with 10 men. This is what happened. It was a challenge with Ndidi. Oh, that was just as bad as the company challenge last week, which only got a yellow card. Studs are showing. Doesn't matter whether it's one-footed, it's dangerous play. I think Mr. Oliver is quite correct there. That could have injured Ndidi's ankle, that, and Pellegrini knows it. But again, it calls into question the inconsistency of the referees. Michael Oliver, to the letter of the law, is correct. But when you look at the company challenge last week in the Manchester City Burnley game, the only thing that saved him was the fact that it was 30 seconds in, and it was actually quite a worse challenge than the Mark Noble one, but it was still dangerous though for Mark Noble, and I'm sure he must admit that. So we've got a bit of a game changer potentially here, because West Ham are 1-0 up, but they're now 1 man down because Mark Noble has been sent off for a very late challenge. The studs were showing, there's no doubt about it. I don't think there's any arguments. Lee Mason just said, just go down the tunnel. There's not much you can do now. And he's been led down the tunnel by West Ham officials. Well, this really now plays into Leicester City's hands, and West Ham will go ahead, but now they are right up against it now. For the remainder now, they've got about 50 minutes to play, just over with 10 men. The last 5 of the first half plus the second half and whatever stoppage time. There might be something like 55 minutes for them to play now with 10 men, which is going to be a long old shift now for these West Ham players, the 10 remaining ones that are left on the field. Michael Oliver gave a straight red. I have to say, it was a sharp take of breath from the fans, and Chicharito's been penalised. I want to get your verdicts on that red card, folks. Was it a red card? And give your honest opinions. As Chicharito has been penalised for fouling Maddison, and a free kick in a very good position, about 35 yards out. Maddison and number 31 Gazelle over it, and the header comes in from 6 yards, and it's well repelled by Fabianski. It might have been Harry Maguire who got the header in on 6 yards, but it was a really good save from Fabianski, who's had nothing to do for the last 20 minutes or so until that moment. Then here's Albrighton chipping the ball in towards the West Ham penalty box, and it's headed away by West Ham. Now West Ham will start believing again. It was drifting out towards a West Ham victory. They had the game in the palm, and then Mark Noble's ridiculous challenge has really put their backs up against the wall, and now it's going to be probably exclusively played in the West Ham United penalty area for the rest of this match now, as the ball comes in. But it's Lucas Fabianski with the save. Wonderful free kick from Maddison, and I'm sure it was Harry Maguire who got in there. Let's see. I can't pick out. In fact, it wasn't Maguire, as I initially thought. It was number 21. It was Ibarra who got the header in. Here comes the ball into the penalty area. The keeper flaps at it, and the ball somehow is scrambled away by West Ham, and now they're right in amongst the pressure now. Leicester going for the kill towards the end of the first half. They know they could got a strike while the iron is hot, and in and out show there was probably put up by the goalkeeper coming out at all costs to try and put him off. Leicester get a throw in almost level with the penalty area. And West Ham, no, it's gone the other way. In fact, it's a West Ham ball. Masanka to take it. I'm getting quite excited now. I did honestly think the goalkeeper had touched it initially. I haven't seen the replay now. The referee was quite right to give it to West Ham. Oh my goodness me. I'm afraid we do audio commentaries, because if we do it, we have to do audio commentaries, because if we show any match footage, Alan, we get copyright striked from the Premier League. They do not show very clearly in their own product, but you listen to live audio commentary, so we will not, and you will be taken off the comment section, and you will be barred. There are 5 moderators on this page. Do not start spamming. We have had enough spammers to last the entirety, and if I see any more now from now to the end of the game, I might have to shut down the comment section, and that would be unfair on the regulars like Tattoo Terror and Panini and Russ Vernon and everybody else that tunes in. I have a viewership to obtain, and people like you do not help the cause, and you will be taken off, and you will be reported. 1-0 to Leicester, 1-0 to West Ham, incidentally. Just under 2 minutes, over 2 minutes to go to half time. West Ham now down to 10 men for a reckless challenge by Mark Noble. He was definitely out of control, might have been one-footed, but the intent was there to take the man out, and he got none of the ball whatsoever. So Michael Over was completely right in the letter of the laws to send him off, and it just calls into question the inconsistency when you've got a referee like John Moss, and his reward for such a poor display of refereeing last week in the Manchester City Burnley game, which we covered, and his reward is Manchester United Everton tomorrow, when he should be really giving the sack. Total passes 221 Leicester, 203 West Ham, but it's West Ham winning 1-0. The ball is with Chilwell, onside on the far side, but well played number 45 Diangana. He did really well, and he got away from the cul-de-sac, but he's been given away, and now inside the penalty area. Iheanacho, is he offside? Shoots, and it's blocked, and the flag did go up, in fact, from the near side linesman, and it is a free kick to West Ham. They just thought for a minute. But, doing the hard work, Diangama, he gives the ball away, and as I've just seen now on the replay, they've got a replay focused in on the 18-yard line, and he was about 2 yards offside. Other scores earlier today: Brighton 1, Wolves 0. That was a full-time score. Bournemouth beaten Fulham at Craven Cottage by 3-0. Southampton Newcastle finished goalless. Watford beat Huddersfield by 3-0, and Liverpool thrashed Cardiff in the end by 4-1 at Anfield, and now are 3 points clear, having played a game more than second place Manchester City in third place Chelsea, who Chelsea play tomorrow. City play on Monday against Tottenham at Wembley. As Leicester come forward and on the left hand side, that has to be a free kick surely, but I think he's played play on, so I'm thinking it's advantage there, Mr. Oliver, and he's now checking his watch. We've played the 45 minutes. Lee Mason, the fourth official, will tell us in just a second how much longer more we're going to have at the end of the first half. We've played 10 seconds over that 45. I don't know if it's given 2 minutes, in fact, Lee Mason, the fourth official. So Leicester now have got 2 minutes to try and find an equaliser before the half-time interval. We'll take a 10-minute break as we usually do when I'm doing all this solo. Here's Chilwell crossing there towards Iheanacho. Almost broke to Gazelle on the near side as well. And now the ball's been picked up, and Maddison towards the area. James Maddison, good run there by the former Norwich man. He might break to Gazelle on the near side. It will do. Gazelle now will cross into the penalty area. 2 or 3 blue shirts go for that ball. Ball back again, and then the shot over by Iborra, and it's over the top with his left foot. He sort of scuffed it, and it's behind for a goal kick. In fact, it was Ben Chilwell who had the shot, not Iborra as her sport. But well, Leicester, if they are going in 1-0 down, then they've got to use the half-time team talk positively and as a spur here, because they're up against 10 men now, but they are trailing by 1-0. England manager in the crowd, Gareth Southgate, taking a look at the likes of Harry Maguire and 1 or 2 others. He won't have been impressed by that Mark Noble challenge, I would have thought. It was a really poor challenge. There's another player, Leicester player, gone down on the halfway line, and it's Iborra. And we've got about 25 seconds to go. It's my goodness me! In fact, well, isn't that an elbow? No, it wasn't. He slapped him. I don't think it was an elbow. It can't have been. He smacked him, but it was still stupid. And West Ham here, a goal up. They completely lost discipline here. And Pellegrini, as delighted he would be now going into half time, a goal up as we play the 2 minutes. And certainly now we'll probably play a few seconds more, and that'll be that when the goalkeeper kicks away. In fact, that's it. So at hard time here, he will be very, very angry because he's allowed, from a winning position, they've allowed their discipline to get on top of them a little bit here, West Ham, and that's got to be cause for concern for them. But the goal came from Balbrena halfway through the first half. After Leicester has started really well, but then late on in that first half, a foul on Ndidi by Declan Rice, which was not Declan Rice, Mark Noble, which was an absolute ridiculously bad, out of control challenge, and he duly got the red card for it. Right, anyway, that's the situation at half time here. 1-0 to West Ham, down to 10 men. Leicester will surely have it all to do in the second half, I would have thought. Join us for the second half if you can. But we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with a whole coverage of the second half for you as well. And if there's any news on the condition of Glenn Hoddle, we will try and bring it to you if we can. But it's not looking good for Glenn Hoddle, who sadly today got taken into hospital with a serious illness. He's 61 years old, former Tottenham player, former Monaco player, former Tottenham, Chelsea, Southampton and England manager, of course, and Swindon Town. He's done it all. He was appearing as a television pundit for BT Sport, and then he was taken quite seriously ill, and our best wishes are with Glenn Hoddle. And if you want to put your wishes to Glenn Hoddle, just do it in the comment section if you wouldn't mind. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll bring you full second half coverage of Leicester against West Ham. But at the moment it's 11-man Leicester 0, 10-man West Ham United 1 at the break. Welcome back to the King Power, where we're just awaiting the two teams. Tattoo Terry, no sound. Well, obviously, I have to take a 10-minute break to, lubricate the throat and get it in action for the second half. And it's also a very bitterly cold afternoon, so I popped away for a cup of coffee to keep my cockles warm, and of course, and a cup of Bovril, of course, a real football favourite. Just to remind you that there's been no change in the situation with Glenn Hoddle. He's still seriously ill in hospital, but if there's any further news before we out with the broadcast or anything like that, if he recovers or any sort of news, good or bad. 1-0 to West Ham is the score. I just wanted to bring you up with Glenn Hoddle, Russ, because he's been taken to hospital with a very serious illness. He's in hospital. He appeared on television this morning and then collapsed and then was taken to hospital. At the moment, he's still in hospital, still very seriously ill. As I say, any change in circumstances, good or bad, we will bring it on the YouTube channel. Russ, it's 1-0 to West Ham at the moment. A goal from Ballerbrainer is the difference, but West Ham have been reduced to 10 men because of Mark Noble's sending off. He went in on halfway. He took Ndidi out. He took out Ndidi's legs. The studs were showing. It was one-footed. It was almost as bad as the Vincent Kompany challenge. Had only got a yellow last week in the Burnley match at Manchester City, which again calls into question which really does call into question in some respects the consistency of refereeing at the moment. But we'll have to see how that one develops by the end of it all. Well, sorry JB, I went out for a walk with my daughter. It's alright, don't worry about it. You've got to spend time with your daughter, I understand that, and I bet it's hard, sometimes you've got to put your kids first. Well, we're still waiting for the teams to come out. Earlier today, Liverpool winning 4-1 against Cardiff. Bournemouth's great start to the season continued, and a 3-0 win today against a very poor Fulham side who do look very badly out of form. Watford were too good for Huddersfield Town today. 3-0 winners, they ran out. Southampton 0, Southampton 0, Newcastle 0. So it's not a good point there for either side. Southampton only won once this season, and Newcastle yet to win. Catch you later. Off to watch second half of Leeds against Forest is where I'm doing commentary. Well, good luck for the second half, Russ, and don't forget to send me a snippet. Don't forget to send me a snippet of it later, or get me a link to it. If you're on BBC, make sure you send me a link and I'll listen back to you later. But enjoy the second half, lad. Right, anyway, we're just waiting for the start of the second half. We're literally a few minutes away. And also, one result that I didn't bring to you earlier, that's Brighton winning against Wolves 1-0. She's a 2-year-old, and when Match of the Day comes on, she loves it. Oh, fantastic! That's nice. Well, at least you know you've got if she likes Match of the Day, that's fantastic. What about the Colin Murray programme, the 9 o'clock programme? I don't know what it's called anymore. It used to be known as the Championship when I was a lad, but there you go. But we're still waiting to start the second half. Both teams should be coming out onto the pitch anytime soon. Just to remind you that in case you joined us late, Ballerbrainer scored from a couple of yards after from a free kick. His initial header at the far post, the right hand post, hit the other post, the left hand post, and then the ball came back to him, and from a yard out he more or less went on a brisk walk and strolled it in, which Michael out of his ground. She's a Spurs supporter, right? Well, at least it's not West Ham. So Ballerbrainer followed in to score, and then the red card came about 10 minutes afterwards when Mark Noble was stupid enough to get himself sent off. Straight red card for him, and that's the situation. We're all ready to go in the second half. Leicester City to get us underway. I don't think there's a change at all in personnel, but Corporal will have to buoy them up and gene them up for the second half. They do have Jamie Vardy amongst others on the bench. They have Damari Gray as well. Leicester City trail 1-0, but they have a man advantage. And we'll remind you of the two teams. Remember, West Ham minus Mark Noble. Don't forget that in case you joined us late. He got sent off with 10 minutes of the first half remaining. So we're into the second half, and this is Harry Maguire and halfway. Colin Murray's on Quest. Oh, he's on Quest now, isn't he? I remember it being on ITV, but it's a long, long time ago now. And Burnley have been at the Championship some time. So anyway, back to the match, and it's an opportunity here for the cross to come into the penalty area. Nacho was waiting. Ibarra now to keep it alive, and it comes out to Ndidi, and Ndidi flicks it on. And now Chilwell has it for Leicester, left-hand side. Maddison chips the ball in, but it's just too close to the goalkeeper, Fabianski, who takes the ball on. So just to remind you of the two teams when we get a breaking play. In fact, it's a free kick there to Leicester, foul there by number 4, Soniaku, who now will get himself a booking. And there it is. Harry Maguire's centre-back partner. He came right through the back of Chicharito there. It was a sort of a very bad push. So he's now into the referee's notebook. And we play on. Leicester 0, West Ham 1. But remember, West Ham down to 10 men, which might give Leicester a little bit of hope here. And the ball will run out of play shortly for a goal kick. Oh, will it? No! No. I thought the referee had played on, but he hadn't actually. So Cagliar Sorigudo is now into the book. He's the first Leicester player, I think, booked. Sorigudo. I think that's how you pronounce it. The ball. I think the ball across the line. Now there's some debate whether that was a free kick. In fact, an offside had been given, and there's been a little slight confusion because I thought it was a goal kick. Then Diana tried to play on. We're just had all sorts of confusion here at the start of the second half, but it's now been confirmed as offside. The television feed hasn't helped much, but now we're back on the way, and it's Leicester City on the break here down this near side. The cross comes in, it deflects, and that should be a throw into Leicester City. Indeed it is. But they need to come at it second half, I feel. Old Brighton and Cole, they need to get themselves back into this game. 10 men, they'll never get a better chance. Ibarra now has it deep inside the West Ham half, and it comes now to Chilwell. Chilwell's crossing towards the penalty area. Ball only headed half away, and then the ball back in, and it will fall very kindly there for the goalkeeper Fabianski, who takes the ball confidently and takes the ball. In fact, Jamie Vardy has come on, I think, now for Leicester, has he? Well, it looks as if he has. Looks like Vardy's on. Someone confirm who. Well, it looks as if Jamie Vardy's come on. I don't know who's replaced. I haven't had a chance to catch up with the substitutions. I'll just check it now. That has certainly thrown me a little bit. The fact Jamie Vardy's come on, because I'm doing this off a monitor, and it's not easy. So remember, West Ham down to 10 men, but a goal up. I'll just double check that substitution. I'm certain we saw Jamie Vardy on there in the second half, and yes, he is on now. So Vardy is on, so I can only assume he's replaced somebody here. So let's have a look at what's who's come on as we look at. I'm just looking at the text commentary. So let's have a look there. There was a chorus of boos, in fact, and in fact Jamie Vardy came on to replace Gazelle. Gazelle was the man he replaced. Right, so we're now, we've got to the bottom of it. Gazelle was the man he took off, but there was a chorus of boos at half time. It's not often you see that, but we saw an opportunity just a moment to a goal there. Chilwell getting into a good position. Positive from Leicester. They were booed off at the break. Here's Vardy now. Vardy on the left hand side. Vardy running at his man, looking towards Maguire to stay forward. Now an opportunity here for West Ham to break, and they have the ball over on the far side. This really is going to be nip and tuck now as they go on the break, and it's Philip Anderson down the left hand side. Chicharito was further forward, and in the end it's come away, and now Leicester to break. And the ball is now down on the far side. Infield towards Maddison, but it's hooked away again. Now the ball is spread out towards the near side, and it's Chilwell now running at the defenders. Chilwell now for Leicester. Into the penalty area it goes. Bardi chips the ball in towards the back post. Chance here for Leicester, and it's wide by Albrighton. I think it might have been offside, in fact, as the ball was swept in by the substitute Jamie Vardy, who really did well to hook the ball back across the goal mouth. But in the end, Albrighton, well, I'm not sure Albrighton was offside, and I don't think in Iheanacho was offside either. I think that's a bit of a tough decision, that, but it wouldn't have counted anyway because Leicester put the ball wide in any case. Free kick to West Ham, which they were quite fortunate to get, in my opinion. 1-0 they lead, but they're down to 10 men. Balabrewa's goal separating the two teams. Remember though, Mark Noble has been sent off for straight red, and you just wonder if Quincy Company had got the same treatment, would it have been a 5-0 thrashing of Burnley last week? It really makes you wonder about the consistency of the English officials at the moment in the Premier League, as the cross comes in, hooked away by Harry Maguire, but Anderson has possession, trying to find Chicharito inside the penalty area. Maddison to bring it away, up to Vardy, back to Maddison again, still inside the West Ham half. Now the ball is swept out towards Ben Chilwell. Left hand side here for Leicester. Chilwell running at his man. Past Zabaleta as if he didn't exist, but he showed too much of that to Balbuena, who just swept the ball up rather confidently and coolly, as if he'd just been strolling out in the park. Here come Leicester again with a shot that comes in from 25 yards, right footed. It was Ndidi who had the shot, and in fact Maddison had laid him in. Better from Leicester here. Indeed, he just saw a little gap there, went for it, just sliced it with his right foot wide of the right hand post, and a goal kick it is to West Ham now. And one gets the feeling, as I take a sip of coffee on this very chilly evening here in the Midlands, it's going to be played exclusively now in the West Ham half. I think Schmeichel may well be redundant in that Leicester City goal. He may well be more of a spectator as the second half goes by, as West Ham looked again for inspiration to try and keep Leicester at arm's length here for the rest of this second half. We've had 53 minutes of the game. We've had 8 minutes of the second half. It's Leicester 0, West Ham 1, and this is Harry Maguire deep inside his own half, trots towards, virtually unchallenged towards halfway. Now Maddison takes it on halfway, plays a 1-2 with Mbora. Now the ball out towards the far side, and Albrighton will run at defenders in towards Ndidi. Shields off Snodgrass. Albrighton gets it back a second time, and then a poor ball by Mark Albrighton to the disconstellation of the capacity crowd here at the Kent Power. Albrighton still has it again. Leicester have managed to keep possession. Maddison is on the prowl, but so too is Philip Anderson, who hooks it out, but only as far as Amati. Now the ball is with Schmeichel to Harry Maguire, who takes the ball on halfway now for Leicester. West Ham have got more or less everybody back. This is Ben Chilwell now, 10 men against 11, and it's 11 men of Leicester going at 10 man West Ham here, but they're a goal down. Maguire tried to play the ball in, the England hero from the summer, but he couldn't thread the ball through. Now Marty has it on the far side. He's got Albrighton on the far side. Wicks the ball in there towards Vardy, who was lurking at the right hand near post. And now Albrighton will get a second opportunity. The ball squandered here by West Ham, and Vardy inside the 6-yard area to the near post, trying to nod it towards to the left hand corner, and just couldn't get enough purchase or enough guidance with the header. Otherwise that might have been one each. But better from Leicester. They look a lot more ambitious going forward, and with Jamie Vardy on, they do have that massive attacking threat, and that is a positive for them, that is for sure. Leicester City 0, West Ham 1, coming up towards the 10-minute mark of the second half. Leeds United 0, Nottingham Forest 1 is a current championship scoreline. We'll give you the result any goals that go in, I'm sure we'll try and bring that to you as soon as we can. Early today, wins for Brighton, Bournemouth, Watford and Liverpool. And Newcastle and Southampton playing out a goalless draw at St Mary's. Here's Rice now for West Ham. 1-0 they lead, but they're down to 10 men. Zabaleta now to play towards Dagana. Dagana now trying to hold off Chilwell. Chilwell's just snapping at him, but he's given away the free kick there, the Leicester City left back. Michael Oliver right on the spot to give the decision. 35 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Leicester 0, 10-man West Ham United 1. And if West Ham hold on, it will be a very famous victory against all the odds, considering they've been reduced to the man handicap from the moment that the tackle from Noble came flying in there. It was reckless to the extreme. He's now off the field and he can't inspire from the pitch now. He'll be in the changing rooms kicking himself, but can his teammates bailing him out here? He will serve a ban for that tackle, by the way. Oh, he could appeal it, but I'm not sure what grounds he could appeal it on. Here's the ball in towards Maddison from Chilwell. He goes down. Oh, that looked a penalty to me. That looked a penalty. Michael Oliver says no. I'd have to look at a replay, but from the naked eye, I thought Maddison was taken out there. But Leicester still have it on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Oh, Brighton playing in a miss kick. Iheanacho's there. He's got Maddison as well. And Iheanacho, they claim handball. Again, the referee doesn't want to know. And Iheanacho is furious with the referee, Michael Oliver. Could they have had 2 penalties there inside 60 seconds, Leicester? This was the handball. It's Ballerbrainer. Well, the only ring that saves Zabaleta there is the outstretched, and well, I don't even know whether that was a penalty either. But naked eye, it looked a convincing shout for a penalty, but looking at it on a replay from another angle, I think the referee may have got that spot on. Here's old Brighton to Vardy down the right hand side. The little chip, it deflects. It's a corner now to Leicester. They're really turning up the heat here on West Ham United. I think this is going to be a dramatic ending to the second half. I think we're going to grandstand finish here for half an hour or so. Stay tuned. It's the 5th corner of Leicester, here live on the JB Clary YouTube channel. Tomorrow we've got Burnley against Chelsea from Turf Moor. Tonight it's Leicester City 0, West Ham United 1 in our live commentary offering. In it goes towards the penalty area. Maguire jumping the flick on, it's over, but the foul whistle's gone in fact for a foul on Ballerbrainer and a 3 kick to West Ham, to their vast relief of the players and the supporters, and no doubt Manuel Pellegrini himself. Looking at that again, well, I'm not sure now. On closer inspection, now this is the handball. Well, his arm's out actually. They might have a case for the second one. His arm's definitely out. He's trying to cut them back in. I think Leicester may have had a case there for a penalty, unless the referee didn't spot it. If he hasn't spotted, then he can't obviously give it. But I have to have a little bit of sympathy there for Leicester City, as the shot comes in from about 30 yards out, and it was from Dagana, who goes whistling over the crossbar. Damari Gray is being prepped up and ready to go. He'll add a bit more pace and vitality to Leicester's attack, which is now at full tilt now. They're going at full tilt here, trying to at least save a point, maybe even win the game. They've got enough quality in their team, Leicester, to do so, and they've got old Brighton away on the far side. Chance inside the area for Vardy, and he loses possession again. And I have to say, West Ham are defending very manfully here. And they've got a free kick halfway inside their own half, and Bauer there with a little bit of inexperience shown there. There's going to be another change, and it looks as if it could be Mikel Antonio coming on, the man that was widely tipped to be an England international of the future. It could be him. Well, we'll just have to see. But at the moment it's 1-0 to West Ham, but they're down to 10 men, remember. That red card for the captain, Mark Noble, has really put their backs up against the wall as Maddison tries to play the ball in, and it's hooked away. But they've got a very strong bench. Remember, they've already used one. They've got left Ward, Evans, Pereira, Okazaki and Mendy, and goalkeeper Ward, and obviously Damari Gray, who's apparently going to be coming on in a second. West Ham yet to make a change. They've got Adrian, Creswell, O'Bonner, Henriks, Antonio, Powell and Coventry amongst their substitutes. As Brighton runs down, has he kept it in? Vardy flicks it on. I think the ball's gone out of play, I think. Oh, Brighton just didn't keep it in, and I think it's a goal kick. And we played an hour, and it's still 1-0 to West Ham. Substitution for West Ham United. They were winning 1-0 but are down to 10 men. It's Javier Hernandez who's coming off, so I can only assume it's a striker that's going to be coming on. Is it Ogbonna? Or is it going to be Antonio? I'm not sure who it might be. It actually is Mikel Antonio, so he's going to come on. He's a pacey player, can score goals. He scored with a terrific goal against Burnley last year when he went round the goalkeeper to score. Nick Pope was in goal for Burnley that day. So Demarai Gray, this promising young winger who's impressed a lot since arriving at Birmingham in the Championship year. In a nutshell, really has been a bit unfortunate. But with Demarai Gray on, anything could still happen. There's still a good 29 minutes plus stoppage time to go, so anything can happen. This is the good beauty about football. It only takes a second to score a goal, and with Leicester on top, they claim handball and get it. 15 yards from halfway inside their own half, and then that shot comes off and sits down where Demarai Gray was sat, and the ball hooked long towards Vardy by Old Brighton, and the ball evades away from Maddison. Still 1-0 to West Ham, but they're defending doggedly here. But it's going to be played exclusively now in that West Ham half. And it's Chilwell now for Leicester. They're going for the cutthroat here, the Foxes. They've got a ball into the balls, the penalty area. Comes to O'Brien on the volley. It's a terrifically well-hit volley. Saved by the keeper. O'Brien again. Saved at the near post by Fabianski. And he had 2 goals in that, Mark O'Brien. Chilwell with a beautifully flighted cross, and he hit this so sweetly on the volley. The goalkeeper made an astonishing save, and then he hit it again on his left foot, and it was saved at the near post, the right hand post, by Fabianski, who's had a good second half so far. Terrific piece of goalkeeping there, buddy. Former Arsenal goalkeeper, Polish international. But it's 1-0. The crucial score now. It's going to be nip and tuck towards the finish here. 1-0 it is. Here's Harry Maguire now for West Ham. Is there going to be a grandstand finish? I would have thought there will be now. Chilwell now for Leicester. Infield towards Maddison. Maddison plays the ball out towards O'Brien on the right hand side. O'Brien darts down the right hand side. Plays it in. Vardy's done it over the bar. They're getting closer. Vardy from 6 yards. Heads over. He should have scored, but once again Mark O'Brien. First of all, a lovely crossfield ball from left to right, flanked by James Maddison. Then the ball whipped in with great venom by Mark O'Brien, the former Aston Villa man, and Jamie Vardy at the near post, doing what he should do best, but he's headed just too high. On target, that goes in. But they're getting closer, and I don't think it's going to be too long a time before they do get the equaliser, I would predict here. Schmeichel kicks away unorthodox towards the left hand side, and he's found Ben Chilwell. Chilwell gets the ball forward. He's trying to get Demarai Gray on his way. Demarai Gray hasn't got into it yet, and he's been on about 3 or 4 minutes. Maguire, no handball, play on. It's Maguire now, trotting over halfway. Now he's found Demarai Gray. He's got Chilwell on the overlap on the left hand side. Gray goes infield, finds Maddison, who's starting to run the show in midfield a little bit now. Here is Chilwell again. Oh, that's a poor ball. Zabaleta easily cut the ball out, but it's a throw in still. Leicester keeping the move going. They have to. The throw in's been taken quickly. Now it's Habora now for Leicester. Can they find a way through the Foxes? There's a phrase around this stadium that Foxes never quit. Well, this is the time to prove it now. This is Maddison. Maddison pirouetted nicely away from the defender. Maddison shoots, and he shoots wide. And a goal kick has been given. I think there were better options there for James Maddison. He hits it on his left foot, but he slices it badly wide and out for a goal kick. Well, 25 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Leicester 0, West Ham United 1 in our featured match this afternoon in the Premier League. We'll have FA Cup football in a couple of weeks' time as well for your listening pleasure. The first round draw, and we've got Oldham Athletic going away on the Monday night. We'll be covering that one on the JB Clark YouTube channel, and we'll have a couple of other tasty ties over that weekend. And the first and second rounds will dedicate as FA Cup specials. And here goes Chilwell again. Chilwell running down the left-hand side, and he's got away from Zabaleta. Had too much pace for him. The cross in there. Desperate defending from West Ham, and then the shot from Ndidi on his left foot on the edge of the D goes wide of the right-hand upright and behind for another West Ham goal kick. It's going to be wave after wave of Leicester attack. One suspects now from now until the final whistle. But Leicester now giving it a lot of effort in this second half. I sense Perella said something in the half-time. He had to go and take... Did he? He got the ball there. No foul there on Maddison. It was a good tackle, incidentally, by Diop. It was a really good tackle. So no problems there with that one. Vardy now tussling with Henriks on the far side. There has been another change. Henriks has come on as well. So... looks like West Ham have made another change as well, and that's a foul, surely. The two 11s colliding with each other. And it's a free kick, in fact, to Leicester City. They're all marking up now for this free kick. In fact, it's a corner, I think. This is their 6th corner. It's all exciting stuff here in this second half. The ball whipped in. Maguire's header off the crossbar and over. Harry Maguire jumped up 8 yards out, won the header, got above everybody else. His header looped up for what seemed an eternity. Good corner again from Old Brighton. And it just seemed to take an eternity to drop. And it bounced off the top of the crossbar and bounced over to safety, thankfully, from West Ham's point of view. 2 goals in 9 games this season for Harry Maguire. Nearly was the 3rd one then. And a free kick against Ndidi. But foul on Mikel Antonio. Yeah, just went into him rather clumsy there. Just almost chinned him there, didn't he? Not viciously, by the way. West Ham have a free kick and no doubt a bit of breathing space. We've had 67 minutes of the game. We've got about 23 just over the go. Minutes, that is. Can Leicester find a way through? West Ham are certainly riding their luck at the moment. That's absolutely for certain. But they're certainly giving it a good go here. Leicester, and they might as well have a go in this second half. They've got nothing to lose against 10 men. And here goes Antonio towards the area. Goes down. No penalty. No penalty at all. Antonio was looking for that, according to the referee. Now here's Vardy. Can't get the ball through. It's all getting a bit frustrating here for Leicester City. If they don't win today, the fans are going to be calling for Perel's head. Well, was it a penalty? This is the... Well, Antonio goes in. Oh, I tell you what, I think he's rather fortunate there, the defender there, Soyaku, because he's taken him there, and I think there's contact there. Soyaku brought Antonio down. I think that's a penalty. I really do. He's very lucky there. And remember, he's one of the players on the yellow card, so he could have gone for that if the referee had decided to give the penalty to West Ham. But it's Leicester City on the break with Chilwell into the Leicester penalty area, but it's hooked away by West Ham, who are defending like heroes today. And if they do hold on to win, they'll have had to have earned it the hard way against 11 men with a one-man disadvantage. And Dini now to Gray on the left-hand side. Gray running at his man Zabaleta. Gray should have the pace on Zabaleta. Gray tries to cross it in low. It's a corner. 69 minutes gone. Leicester forced their 7th corner of the game. Gray should have it. Should be a mismatch between these two, Gray and Zabaleta, because Zabaleta is a much older player, and Damari Gray, of course, is quite a young player with plenty of pace. Maddison to take the corner, left-hand side. Can he put in another quality cross? Maddison whips it in with his right foot from the left-hand side towards the 6-yard area. West Ham deal with it manfully. Still Leicester have it. And Soyaku now keeps it going. And now Albrighton. And the ball will break for a Leicester throw. Soyaku will take the throw. It's going to be a rip-roaring last 20 minutes for the stoppage time now. Leicester 0, West Ham 1. Well, my goodness, West Ham are now having to dig in so deep. They're now basically camped in their own penalty area, practically. Brighton now to Soyaku. And he turns and tries to get a cross in towards the edge of the D. Maguire stays forward. He's jumping. Gray goes in. Zabaleta nicks the ball away from him. And then Maguire just pushes him rather nonchalantly to the ground. It is a free kick to West Ham, and they'll be pleased about that one, the Hammers. And no doubt Manuel Pellegrini, not so much Harry Maguire, but he had to give away that decision. He was always second favourite against Zabaleta, who just used his experience there and drew the foul there from Harry Maguire, who's becoming a rather frustrated character at the moment. 19.5 minutes left to play. Leicester City 0, West Ham 1. But how Leicester are not level in this game is one of life's great mysteries. But the 10 men of West Ham are digging in and not giving in. Maguire has it now for Leicester. Sure, there's got to be something in this now for them. They're going to get at least 2 or 3 more chances in this second half before the time ebbs away on their hopes of 3 points in this game. Indeed, he now takes the ball, tries to hook a ball across the walls of the left hand side. The ball breaks rather kindly to Chilwell from the deflection by Dagana, and Dagana deflected it into his path. Leicester still have it with Maddison into Iborra. Iborra now on the turn, Ndidi. And still the ball will just not bounce for Leicester at the moment. Now Maddison wins possession midway inside the West Ham half. Finds Gray on the left-hand side up against Zabaleta. That should be the mismatch of the season, this. And here comes Gray. Low cross, and he somehow ricochets across, and somehow West Ham clear. This is unbelievable. They are using up lots of luck here, West Ham. They're running their luck. They're like a cat now that's used about 6 or 7 out of their 9 lives. When is the 9 lives going to run out? Here's Gray crossing from the left hand side, headed away by Balbuena. Now Gray again to Maguire. Now they're switching it towards the right hand side, and the shot comes in from 25 yards right footed. It was Daniel Amati, the right back, who attempted the shot. There was 18 minutes of the game plus stoppage time to go. It's Leicester City 0, West Ham 1, and we're getting bags of excitement in this game. It might not have been the most attractive game today on paper, but my goodness, it's been rather exciting. And West Ham about to come on, use a substitute. As could be one of the young lads, I think. It could be neither Powell or Coventry. And if it is, what a baptism of fire it is for them to look at this Leicester, to watch them here up against this Leicester City attack, or to be in the thick of this. Wave after wave of Foxes attacking. Here's Maguire now from Chilwell's pass. Deep inside West Ham territory. Iborra. He's got Old Brighton free on the right. Old Brighton now has a chance here to go past his man. He skipped past his man as if he didn't exist. The cross comes in, the keeper missed it. And there was nobody in blue in the penalty area. Still alive. Chilwell in there. And again, West Ham getting headers on the first and second balls every single time. Here's Old Brighton again. They're not digging in. The ball in there towards Vardy, and he can't flick it through towards Damari Gray. But they're certainly not giving in, Leicester. Well, that's one thing you could say about them. Whatever scoreline it turns out to be, it's been a remarkable effort by everybody in the second half to try and put this absolutely right. Indeed, he now wins possession. Finds Old Brighton again on the left. He goes over halfway. And once again, he has to look at the defender, Diop. And the ball finds Gray. And he's away from Zabaleta. But the ball runs out of pitch. And it's behind for a goal kick. Well, how are your nerves, folks? If you're a Leicester fan listening to this, it's hearted mouth time. If you're a West Ham fan, I would encourage you, it's the same. 10 men holding on in there, and it's going to be the substitution. Dagana is going to come on or come off, and I just want to break off for a second as we see the substitution. It's actually Aaron Creswell coming on. So they're making a right flat substitution. There's awful news that's come through at Brighton. An elderly Brighton fan, I'm afraid, has died at their match this afternoon. We'll bring you more on that before the end of the programme. So that's really sad news to come from the Amex. A Brighton fan has sadly died this afternoon. But back to this game, and Chilwell has done remarkably well and almost kept that in play. But the ball does run out of play this time, and it is a throw-in to West Ham United, which Zabaleta will take as much time as he possibly can within the spirit of the game and within the spirit of the rules. We've got just around a quarter of an hour left to play here at the King Power Stadium. Amazingly, it still remains Leicester 0, West Ham 1. Vardy's headed over. Maguire's hit the crossbar. Albrighton has had a terrific far side volley, far post volley saved by Fabianski. They've laid siege to that West Ham goal, but they haven't penetrated it yet. Can Ivoa try to do something now? He's called Chilwell forward on the left hand side. Takes on his man. Back in field again. A little chip forward by Mbora, looking towards the far side this time. Albrighton takes possession. And now a chance inside the area, but the flag has gone up, in fact, for offside. You just get the sense that it's not going to be Leicester's afternoon here. Or Leicester's evening, for that matter. Let's have a look at that decision again. Well, he's level for me on the initial ball. I mean, Vardy can't be interfering at the first phase, surely. And Marty completely and utterly understandably upset. I think that's a very tough decision. 1-0 to West Ham. This is not a good result, incidentally, for Burnley, because West Ham would actually go above Burnley in the Premier League table. I so desperately want Leicester City to get something here. I don't want to wish to be biased against West Ham, but they are digging in rather deep, and they will have earned the victory if they do hold on. Here's Chilwell though for Leicester. They are the much better side in the second half, there's no doubt about that. The ball back to Gray, left hand side. They're terrorising down that left hand side here, Leicester. Maguire tries to stick the ball through. Appeals to handball not given by Oliver, the referee. And referee Oliver decided not to give it. Now a chance for Antonio to get away from the defender, and it's West Ham now on the break. But again, good blanket defending. And Ibarra got back and stopped Antonio going. Oh, and Schmeichel took a risk. And if that had been miscued any further, that would have gone straight to Antonio, who would have had a free shot at goal. But instead it's Madison now leading the charge. And now for Leicester. Now it's on the left hand side. Gray running into the penalty area. Shot gets the deflection and it falls very kindly to Fabianski, who just plonks himself on the ball and wastes a few extra seconds. But Schmeichel took a chance, got away with it, went right through Antonio's legs. Oh, he's a lucky goalkeeper. And that's the only contribution, funnily enough, he's had all game. Well, all second half anyway. Leicester City have possession. It's switched to the left hand side. Now then, Chilwell, who hasn't stopped running in the whole of the second half so far. Less than 13 minutes to go. 12 to go now, almost by my watch. Here's Albrighton now. Surely something's going to happen here. The ball in towards Vardy, but it's plucked out the air by the penalty spot by the heroic Fabianski. There's going to be another change. Final change for Leicester. Jinji Okazaki about to come on. And he's a man that's always got a few late goals in his time as a Leicester City player. An unsung hero. Here's Madison towards the area. Madison, can he measure up across? He's faced by two West Ham defenders. And the ball breaks kindly. The ball deflected very kindly to Zabaleta. And West Ham bringing it away. And now they'll just release Antonio now. He'll run at Maguire and he'll run at Soligado. And Soligado breaks him down. Remember, he's on a yellow card and he's been penalised and he could well be off here. Remember, he's already been booked here and he could well be off. How late was this tackle on Antonio? Well, I don't know. He's got away with it. He's got away with it. Last warning, I would have thought. In fact, I think he's been substituted. Is he being substituted? I think he is. Well, if it is, it's a good tactical switch by Claude Puel. But there's all sorts of confusion here. Has he been sent? I don't know if he's been sent off. And there's no. Well, I don't know if he was originally going to be taken off. I mean, sorry, is he going off? Well, Bonner's about to come on for West Ham. Yeah, it is Soliago. It comes off and it's going to be Jinji Okazaki. So the sacrifice of the defender now for an attacker, and it's going to be Ogbonna to come on for West Ham in just a second. Referee Oliver making sure that the wall's back a full 10 yards. Free kick is on the far side, deep inside Leicester City territory, and off comes trying Trying to see who it is here. Not giving me any indication of who it might be here. Is it Anderson? Yeah, it looks like Felipe Anderson's coming off. And Ogbonna now will come on for the remainder of the game. So Leicester about to make their final substitution here. Pellegrini, well, he's certainly organised them tactically with 10 men. So off comes Anderson. Ogbonna on, free kick for West Ham, floated in from the far side, and the free header inside. Already Ogbonna had a chance and could have made himself an instant hero there for West Ham. There was the free kick. That would have finished it off once and for all. Just needed a better contact and needed a bit more accuracy. Here goes Chilwell now. Chilwell down the left hand side. Good defending by Zabaleta, and now Chilwell and Zabaleta are at it here, and Chilwell is not happy, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving down on the near side, and the tension here is getting to the players. We've had 81 minutes. We've got 9 minutes left to play. It's a free kick, I think. No, it's not. It's a throw in. Michael Oliver is adding to all the confusion. Chilwell and Zabaleta still continuing their protestations and arguments. Michael Oliver telling them to shut up and get on with it. It's all down to the last 9.5 minutes. The ball chips in towards the penalty area. Plus stoppage time, of course. Chilwell has possession. Finds Gray. Left hand side. Cross comes in. Okazaki's there. So too was Vardy and Madison. And in fact, there was a bit of an infringement inside the penalty area. Or an offside decision, in fact. And a free kick to West Ham. And they've certainly got away with one or two decisions today. Nothing untoward by that at all. I just think it's Chilwell's frustration boiling over there. And Ogbonna, though, Gilt's chance to go 2 ahead there from a free kick. It could have been so costly for Leicester, but they're still in the game at 1-0. The King Power now whipped up an atmosphere like it's never been whipped up for a good few years. This is where Claude Puel needs to earn his money here. They've played some really pretty football, but they just haven't got the desired results. They played really well at Old Trafford on opening night. When we covered them at Old Trafford against Manchester United, they were the better team, but ended up losing 2-1. They've got a corner out of it. Now this really is... They might as well throw everything as well as the kitchen sink at this. We're coming up towards 7:10 in the evening. 8 corners gone. I've dropped my mobile and I picked it back up again. That's what the noise in the background was. 8 corner now. Chucking short up Brighton. Plenty of time to size up across. In towards the back stick it goes. Still not away yet. Now it is for West Ham. Chilwell will retrieve it though. 1-0 to West Ham. They've led since the 20 odd minutes, and it was a goal by Balbuena. Cardiff, Burnley and Brighton next up for Leicester City in their next 3 matches. And what big games they're going to be. And West Ham have got to play Burnley away, Huddersfield and Man City as well. But Leicester now must come at them now. It's all Leicester City at the moment. Here's Maguire, holds off one man, feeds the ball, but he can't feed it to Chilwell on the near side. The ball back now with Amati, and Amati finds Ndidi. It's all Leicester City at the moment. It's all being played exclusively in the West Ham half of the field. Maddison takes possession now, midway inside the West Ham half, finds Harry Maguire, one of the England heroes in the World Cup. Infield again, and there's space for Old Brighton on the right. Old Brighton with a good cross. Vardy's there! And should have scored. Should have scored. The flag stayed down, or had it? No, it had gone up in fact. Vardy probably spared a bit of an embarrassment there, but it has been confirmed as offside. And in fact, there was 2 of them offside. Iborra was the second one. As we looked again on the replay, but just for one fleeting moment it looked as if the equaliser might come. And when Vardy certainly gets on the end of a ball like that from Marco Brighton, you would expect him to put the ball into the back of the net, but he was flagged offside. 5 minutes and 20 seconds of normal time to play. It's all going to come down to fine margins here. That goal from Balbuena from a set play Looks like at the moment as things stand, it's going to be giving 10-man West Ham an odds against the odds type win here, because the whole second half it's been played and dictated by Leicester City. Did they try and play? They should have tried to play with that urgency before the break. Here's Gray now running at the defender, and he's away from him now. Can he keep the ball in play? He's up against Zabaleta. There's two West Ham players on him, and Gray's been muscled out of it. Snodgrass got back and did well, but Zabaleta was well. They want a free kick here, Leicester. It's going to be a West Ham throw-in, and Zabaleta telling Gray to get to his feet. Was this a foul by Zabaleta? Let's have a look on the replay. Oh, that's a naughty challenge by Zabaleta. Well, Gray gets the ball first for me, and I think the referee's very, very. I think that's a very poor decision as Antonio tries to nip him behind, and that looked a foul there as the shot came in from Antonio. He's hit it straight at Schmeichel, and that would have been a smash and grab second goal. But Leicester having to pour men forward now. Antonio has got the pace to burn. 4 minutes to go. Leicester City 0, West Ham 1. Maguire chips it towards Chilwell. How many times have we said that already this second half? Chilwell goes past Snodgrass, gets a cross in there towards the far post. It's hanging a bit, but the goalkeeper, under no great pressure to be fair, hangs on, takes it well, and he's had a blinder this second half. Lucas Fabianski, one has to say. Still 1-0 to the Hammers. But that, in my opinion, that is a yellow card at best. Maybe red for Zabaleta. That is an awful tackle. How Michael Oliver did not see that is a complete utter mystery. And here come Leicester now. Still, Mark Noble was sent off after 38 minutes, remember. That was the red card. They're playing with 10 men. Here is Maddison. Maddison, who's just dictated everything from the centre of midfield and has been at the hub of all the good things that Leicester have done, but it might still be in vain unless they can find a goal here from somewhere. It's Chilwell now, and Okazaki is onside. The ball pulled back, it's in the net, but the flag is up again. 2 times now Leicester have had the ball in the net, but the linesman has chalked him off. Another offside might have been from the initial ball through to Okazaki here. Well, I don't know, but Leicester certainly not having the look at all. And it might have been offside against Okazaki. It did look offside from the replay, one has to confess. Well, the officials have not, the Leicester fans will not have done their team a good service today, I'm afraid. Well, let's hope Burnley against Chelsea has more drama like this. Burnley will nearly need to raise their game tomorrow, because West Ham will go above them in the table if the scoreline somehow stays this way. It was 2 minutes plus time added on. I would wager something in the region of about 3 or 4 minutes perhaps. Here's Chilwell now for Leicester, left hand side. How many times have we said that through the course of the commentary, trying to thread it through to Gray? And Fabianski's there, and he picks the ball up, and there's Leicester fans praying for something here. There's a woman bobble-hatted in the crowd. It's a bitterly cold afternoon. And Claude Puel under intense pressure. It's going to be a really tough old winter for Leicester if they lose this one. One ball forward towards Vardy, and the Vardy has broke the offside trap. Okazaki's inside the area, breaks for Vardy. Vardy shoots, saves, and he breaks away. Just couldn't reach Okazaki, and it should have been the equaliser. Still Leicester have it. Keep it alive with Gray. Gray in towards the middle now, and it's Ndidi who tries a spectacular shot. It's gone in! It's gone in! Right on the last minute! Ndidi went for glory from 25 yards out with his right foot. It swerved viciously, and it went flying into the net. And Leicester now are back in the game and have about 40 seconds for stoppage time to possibly win it. West Ham defended like they never defended so well, and in the end Ndidi's deflected shot goes into the back of the net, and do you know what, it's no more than what Leicester deserve. It hit the defender, I think, Balbuena, and it flies in, but it was on target for me, and it has to be an Ndidi goal, and Fabianski beaten at last. 1-1. We have a grandstand finish, and Leicester will feel now with West Ham for the taking. They're there now. We've now played the 90 minutes. It's 1-1. What a tense finish to this game. Antonio now through. Snodgrass is through. Snodgrass pulled back. Antonio shoots inside the area, and it's a goal kick. O'Connor with the effort in the end. Oh my goodness me. We've now played 90 minutes. We're 20 seconds over the 90 minutes. How long are we going to have at the end of this one? This was a gilt-edged chance for Ogbonna. Over the top it went. We still haven't had confirmation of the stoppage time incidentally come up on my screen. But it's been an all-action second half. There's no doubt about that. And it's been an enjoyable one to commentate on. There's a player down, so we could have a bit more stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. And well, we do have a serious injury, and Leicester, remember, have used all 3 of their substitutes, so Leicester could play the rest of the game with 10 men. And it's a nice light-hearted exchange there between Schmeichel and the referee. Well, it's 4 added minutes, but they could be at least a bit more over the 4 because of this injury here. I can't tell who it is on the ground. I'm assuming it's Ndidi here. Damari Gray's okay. He's taking some fluid, and the stretcher and the braces are out. The leg brace, it looks like. We're supposed to have 4 added minutes, but I wager there's going to be a bit more added time to add it on. So we might be looking at about 6 or 7 minutes here at the end of this one. I would have thought here, although the minimum has been given as 4 by 4th official Lee Mason. This was the goal by Ndidi. There's the shot, takes the deflection off Balbuena and into the back of the net. It was a hit. He took a pot shot, it went in, and it flew in. And Leicester, who have been unlucky, they were praying, they got an equaliser, and I think they've deserved it on balance of play. They've deserved something from the match because they worked so hard to get themselves back into the game, and they've done it now. And we're still waiting for the injury now. It's sort of, unfortunately, the injury has calmed things down a little bit here. Well, we couldn't have wished for a dramatic finish to a game which on paper wasn't the most attractive on the fixture list for Saturday. Plenty of the 3 o'clockers we could have picked, but we decided to go with the 5:30 games, which we have been doing religiously most of the season, and we've got a it's not Ndidi. I think it might be Amati that's come off. I think it might be Amati who's gone off with an injury. Hard to tell because he had the back down towards him, but it's not a great sight, so Leicester will have to play with the remainder with 10 men, so this is probably going to eat up a few more seconds. So I think we're going to have another 3, maybe 4 minutes at the end of the 4. He's got to allow it to happen here, Michael Oliver. It looks like it's Daniel Amati who's gone off, I think. And that's my feeling on it. Let's hope it's a precautionary measure and it's nothing too serious. Well, I'm sure we'll find out later on in the piece. Well, we'll be with you here on the JB Clark YouTube channel until about 7:30 this evening. I'm going to have a lie down after all this excitement. There's still plenty of time left for Leicester. Here's Maddison now, deep inside West Ham. It's all about, it's 10 aside now from now on in because of the unfortunate injury to Daniel Amati. Now a chance now for Chilwell. Leicester will still not be perturbed by this. Ball played in and it's hooked away by West Ham. Now we should have played the 4 minutes, but there's going to be time surely added on for the injury, the unfortunate injury there to the Leicester player. Here's Gray now in towards Maddison. Maddison out towards the far side. Oh dear me, and did he just slipped on the ball there. He's having to fill in for Daniel Amati. 1-1. It's 1-1 at Allen Road. Leeds have forced an equaliser. Now then, a chance here for Leicester inside the penalty area. Vardy jumps, he'll break to Gray, left hand side, chance here now. Ben Chilwell chips it in. Okazaki's onside and he heads it straight towards the goalkeeper. Oh my goodness, we've now played over the 4 minutes, but there's going to be a bit more stoppage time for the injury, the unfortunate injury to Daniel Amati. And Okazaki was not offside as that ball was played. Well, he was offside in fact, club. Well, oh my goodness me. If a man needed a bit of luck, it's that man. Leicester come forward again. We've played 95 minutes, but there's still a little bit of stoppage time left to play because of the injury, the sad injury to Daniel Amati. But it's been a magnificent second half, and for the neutral who have been a paying customer, it would have been value for money. The way this game's taken place, chance inside the area, and it was plucked away. It was O'Brighton who had the shot. It breaks away now, and Leicester denied once again by some very stout West Ham defending. And Antonio was bundled down, but no free kick given by referee Oliver. And here comes Harry Maguire over on a halfway line. We've played 95 and a half minutes of the game of the game so far. Is there one last chance for Leicester? O'Brighton with a cross. It was charged away. O'Brighton will try again. Into the penalty area it goes. Headed only half away. Vardy will jump. Can Leicester snatch victory from the jaws of a defeat? Chest down inside the area, but Ebora just couldn't direct it goalwards and straight into the arms of Fabianski. I think we've probably now got another maybe 30 seconds or more at the end of this now. Certainly it should be up to 97 minutes, and possibly that will be that, as the kick comes forward again, intercepted by Ndidi on halfway, and then hooked back, and Antonio up against Maguire. Maguire came out on top. Here's a chance now, Schmeichel. We've got about possibly, I'm guessing, 30 seconds of the stoppage time remaining due to the injury for Daniel Amati. The referee is poised. Here's Ndidi. Leicester must get this forward. Here's Maguire, and he does get it forward. Can he find Chilwell? He can. Two in the penalty area if he can pick him out. Gray is there on the overlap, still on the left hand side. Gray gets the cross here towards the far post. It's going to have to be manful West Ham defending now, and it is, and that will be that. The final score. What a game. What a terrific second half. Leicester deserve at least a point, if not all three, but they'll feel then as if they should have had 2 points dropped there. West Ham surrounding the referee, but it's all over. Fantastic performance from Leicester right from the moment the second half took place, but Fabianski and co looked as if they were going to hold them at bay, and then in the last 2 minutes a deflected shot by Ndidi. He took a swipe from 25 yards out. It deflected off Balbuena, who'd scored the West Ham's opening goal earlier on. It seemed like a lifetime ago, quite honestly, and went whistling into the left hand corner of the net. Earlier West Ham had been reduced to 10 men through Mark Noble. He got sent off after 38 minutes. Leicester did deserve something from the game, there's no doubt about that. He's finished 1-1 here, but my goodness, it was a real titanic affair. And let's hope for the same at Turf Moor tomorrow, which is going to be our next match, commentary match on the JB Clark YouTube channel. It's Burnley against Chelsea from Turf Moor. Join us for that tomorrow if you can. Well, this game was never down to be the most attractive on paper out of the Saturday fixtures. There were plenty of much more glamorous games we could have chosen. We could have chosen the Liverpool one, we could have chosen Bournemouth, who were playing great stuff, but we thought we'll go with Leicester City. And my goodness me, they gave us a second half which was sort of dramatic and unique in its own unique way. Well, it's finished 1-1 here, and we've just about come to the end. I'm certainly out of breath, I'm out of puff, but enjoy your rest of your Saturday. Enjoy match of the day later tonight. And well, West Ham's lead lasted until the last 2 minutes, but then Ndidi, deflected striker, saved the Foxes a point, and the Hammers will go away kicking themselves. If they hadn't have had their captain sent off, who knows what might have happened. But it's Leicester who get a point. They deserved it. They could have had all three in all conceivableness. But just a round up today: wins for Brighton, wins for Bournemouth, wins for Liverpool and Watford. Southampton and Newcastle drew, and this one at the King Power ended 1-1. It's been a fantastic Saturday. It ended 1-1 in the other game at Ellen Road between Leeds and Nottingham Forest. So Leeds have saved themselves right at the death in that one too. Thank you very much for listening to this game tonight. It's been an absolute privilege to bring it to you on the JB Clark YouTube channel. Chris Wolfley will be back hopefully in the next edition of the Saturday game, as he should be returning. But I hope you've enjoyed my commentary of it. I've enjoyed standing in for him tonight. It's been amazing to get back to commentating on a Saturday night, and it's been enjoyable. Certainly the second half it has been. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow for Burnley against Chelsea. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.